Hi, welcome back to the last video in this series of videos on working with data frames. In the first video, we talked about the introductory parts. I introduced what working with data frames means, and then we went into sorting data in data frame, filtering data. We also discussed how to create columns, delete columns, and grouping data. And now our interest is on data transformation, transforming data using from Pandas data frame. Here we're going to see how to transform data using the apply function, apply map, and the lambda functions. All right. First, we begin by the def expression. We want to define a function called year to month that we convert the ages of the players to month. And of course, it's a very simple function. We're using the def keywords to do that first. So def year to month of x. Now this will convert the number of years to number of month, and whatever input you give it in years, it will return the product of that input by 12 and 12 rather. Okay. Now once I run this cell, that has registered the function called year to month in memory. So it means if I want to apply this function to the column called the age column to convert the ages to month, all I need to do is to call the apply function. So dot apply, then put your function, the function is defined above, inside the curve bracket, and that will apply the function to every single entry. But before we apply that, I'd like to show you how this function works. Year to month. So let me put in my age into this, my age in years, so that I want to see the conversion in month. So how old am I in month? Alright, so I'm 30, plug in 30 there, run the cell, and that gives me 360. It means that I am 360 months old. Wow, I am really old, right? I am really old. So let's see, this is going to apply to every single entry in the age column by doing that. So let's run this cell. Voila, here is the output. I've converted each of their ages to month. Now Lionel Messi is now 288 months, Cristiano Ronaldo is 444 months, and so on. Okay, so imagine you have a kind of transformation you want to do on some columns. All you need to do is to define a function for the transformation using your apply method or apply function. Apply that function to every single entry in that column straight up, and the function is going to be applied easily. Alright, let's see how to use the lambda expressions to do that. Of course, we've dealt intensively with lambda expressions from previous videos. You can go ahead and apply the lambda function. The same function we defined right here, converting number of years to months. We want to do that using lambda expression. And here is lambda expressions, syntax, year to month of lambda. So this is telling you that, okay, here's the lambda expression. Simply call lambda x such that x times 12. That is all. Just in one single line, you've defined a lambda expression. And let's compare. Let's see if the two values will return the same result. So I'm using the def function that was defined above, right? This very def year to month function. That is it here, year to month. I'm calling 30 in, and then the lambda function, I want to see the output year to month lambda. When we run this cell, you see we have def 360 lambda 360, same result, which means that one of the most effective way to run that function, such simple functions, through all Python column, simply call the lambda function, and that will help you do that very easily. Okay, by the time you apply the same thing, the same function to the age column, you apply the lambda function. You see how it's been applied? Apply lambda x full column x raised to x times 12. Once you do that, run the function, get the same output as above. So this helps you, this saves you some time, saves you time and space, instead of defining the function elsewhere first, then applying the function to the data frame, you can go ahead, use the lambda and your apply method or apply functions to do that very easily. All right, let's see some more examples. So what if you have a complex function of this kind? Before we go ahead, I'd like us to see the field or the column called I think it's called position type, right? I think it's called, is it called position type or players? Yeah, position type. Let's see the columns again. I like to see the columns in DataFrame. Now DataFrame df.columns. df.columns. Okay, it's called preferred positions. So let's see how this column called preferred position looks like. I'm going to copy this and get the output. I'll get the output. So I intend to do this below. Let me delete that cell and then create a new cell below. df of this column preferred positions. Oh, we can see that they are actually letters FW, FWDP, so GK. So if someone who doesn't watch football like myself sees this data set, I might not easily understand what these abbreviations, what they represent. So what I want to do here is to create a new column in this data frame that describes what each these letters, what they mean. And how I intend to do that is to use a function. So I called it position type function, and I'm using my if function. I say if s, so it's going to take in s as parameter, right? Now if s of 0, which is the index, the first index, so each of the s are these abbreviations fw. So if f is 0, if f of 0 is f. So I think for better understanding, let's do this. So if I call fw, which is string, fw of 0, let's see what we, okay, the output is f, which means it's giving me the first element. So if s of 0 is equal to f, return forward. So it means that whenever you see the first letter of these abbreviations as f, let it return forward. If s of 0 is m, return midfielder. If that s of 0 is d, return defender, else return goalkeeper. Please take note of this syntax. If this is this, return this, l if, which is else, and this bracket is not necessary. Okay, it's when you are checking for multiple conditions using and, or you can now use the brackets. All right, so let's run this cell. By running this cell, I've registered this function called position_type into the Python's memory, which means I can apply it next. Now I want to apply the same function that I have created, but by applying it, I would like to create a new column called preferred position type, and I'm creating that column from preferred positions column by applying this function called position type function that I've been defined here. So once I apply that function to this, I expect to have the new column created. Let me just comment this line first. Run the cell. The column has been created automatically. Let's see how the new df looks like, plus the column added to it. Let's call df. I think I should just call df of head instead of outputting everything. So here is the data frame. I like to scroll to the end to see the last column. So here's the last column. For every wf, I have forward, wf forward, dp defender, dw fw forward. Did I say wf? fw please. dp defender. So this is how to add new column and how to apply a function that has been defined outside this using the apply function. All right, so this brings us to the end of this video series. So far so good. In this particular series of videos, we've touched on, you must have gained skills related to working with pandas data frame, creating functions by using the apply method. You've learned how to create and delete columns. You've learned how to perform some simple transformations, and it's cool, right? I hope you enjoyed this series of videos that you've watched concerning or regarding working with pandas data frame. Thank you very much for watching this. Please continue to watch out for interesting videos that will build you up and make you become or turn you into an expert data analytics. If you want guidance, you want mentorship alongside your learning process, I would advise you to reach out to us at DataFrame Academy. Sign up for our data analytics courses and you will not regret it. Please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, share these videos, and also like them if you learned something from it. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.